welcome to another video on Sumita Roy's English Classroom. In this channel, I've been trying to help you learn good English. The videos are for all levels. There are videos for beginners. There are also videos for advanced learners. Those who want to learn only rules, there are videos for you on grammar, vocabulary, pronunciation, etc. Those who want to only practice have many videos where you don't need to worry about the rules but only to practice. Today's video is how will you speak English fluently without making mistakes? At the basic level, at the beginner's level, if you make mistakes, there is no problem. Make as many mistakes as possible because you learn better by making mistakes. But if you allow those mistakes to last with you throughout your English learning journey, throughout your life when you are using English, that means you are not progressing. Remember, life is the meaning of progress. Unless we go ahead in life, we are not living at all. So, in your journey of learning English, you can begin with mistakes, but you should not end your journey with mistakes. Therefore, this video is very useful for all of you. Please follow all the tips which I give you, about 6 in number. If you watch the video till the end, you will get all the ideas which I want to share with you. Also, in your comments, please write what kind of improvement you are seeing in yourself. We have a huge amount of subscribers. So if you haven't subscribed, please do it. But it is not enough to just subscribe. Subscribing to the channel doesn't teach you good English or correct English. You need to listen to the videos, you need to learn, and then come back to the video and comment by saying, from this video, this is what I have learned. Remember that by writing the comment, you are improving your fluency. You are thinking in English, you are writing that, and then you can read it out to yourself. And that is, if you read aloud, it's also like speaking. So just by writing a comment, you are improving so much. So let me see a lot of comments from all of you so that I know exactly where you are, how much you have learned, and how much more you want to learn. Let us now move on to speaking fluently, but without making mistakes. What should you do first? The first thing you need to do is imitate some good speakers. You have plenty of material now that we have the digital format, the social media. We have videos of all varieties. We have audio clippings. So choose some very good speakers and imitate them. Try to, at the beginning of your journey, you need to imitate exactly. As you grow ahead, as you go further, you can develop your own style. But to start with, you can always follow somebody. I have given you many videos on shadowing, which you can do. That is imitation. Shadowing is nothing other than listening to one sentence, listening to every sound, keeping it in mind, and repeating it exactly alike. I have given you the example earlier, now I'm giving it again. Look at small children, how they imitate you or how they imitate somebody as soon as they hear. That is a strategy which we correct the children for. It said, don't be rude, don't imitate. But remember, for language learning, that is very important. If you can do it, that'll be great. So the point number one is you make a choice of good speakers. You listen to them. Listening once is not enough. Listen a few times. and imitate. Follow exactly how they say what they say. Look at the sentences, look at the words, look at the pronunciation, look at the pauses where they stop for some seconds and then they continue. These are all very good, and that is the first point I wanted to tell you. The second is you can have some role models who speak well. For instance, our political leaders speak very well. They might speak in any language. Don't worry about the language. You are now looking at a role model. The role model might be in another language, but you have to bring it to English. Listen to a speech where you think this is a good model. If that is not in English, bring it into English and then you speak it out. When you constantly listen, especially if you have good role models in English, you continuously listen to them, you will find that when you start speaking, exactly that style, that structure, that fluency comes out of your lips. I'm sure all of you have seen this as a real life example. Suppose you know some English when you stay in your own city or your own country, then you go and stay somewhere else for 6 months or 1 year. You will find that you are taking their speech as the role model and you are speaking after 6 months exactly like they do. That is the benefit, because constantly when you hear the same sounds, when you hear the same pronunciation, the same words and same sentences, those become embedded in your brain. You are able to think. Whenever you think in English, those sentences come to your mind. And when you speak, because thinking and speaking are spontaneous activities, they happen at once, simultaneously. As you think, you speak. Then what you find? That you are able to produce exactly that which you have seen in your role model. So the first one is where you imitate line by line. The second one is you take the style and structure, take the vocabulary and the rules and apply them to your own English. Now we move to the third point. The third point is very important. That is, you need to set a goal and a timeline. Set your goal and put a timeline to it. That is, today I speak English, but I make many mistakes. After this much of time, maybe 1 month or maybe 2, 3 months, I will evaluate myself to see how well I'm able to correct my English. Today, what mistakes I make, will I continue to make them after 3 months or will I be able to speak without mistakes? Because the first 2 points have given your mind the ability to find a mistake. When you imitate a good speaker, when you choose a role model to use for speaking, you are actually preparing your mind to correct the mistakes. Because this English which you heard is without mistakes. So when you are constantly listening to something or repeating something which is without mistakes, obviously your ability to spot a mistake becomes better. You can also not only spot but correct the mistakes too. So, spotting a mistake, correcting a mistake, this is what you are able to do. Now, when you come to the third point, that is to set your goal and your timeline, then you have, you say that I have an interview after a month. In the interview, I have to speak correct English. Therefore, my goal is today I did not get a job because my English was bad. They told me in the interview, please improve your English. Now I have a month. How much time should I devote so that my next interview is my interview of success? It is the interview where I get a job. Or you have to speak at a particular function. They have invited you. They say that you come and give a speech. Suppose you are related to an important officer. You have a community, and then the officer's wife, the officer's son or daughter gets called by saying, give a motivational speech for 5 minutes. Now, you know that 5 minutes speaking correct English is difficult for you. 1 minute is also difficult because you have to say 10 or 20 sentences in a minute. Therefore, you start preparing. You say, it is 15 days away. In 15 days, can I prepare to speak correctly? Now, you prepare a speech of 5 minutes and speak it correctly. That's wonderful. But in the process of that 15 days, you have learned so much about correct English that you will not make mistakes in other contexts also. So set your timeline. Suppose you are going to another country to study. You say 2 years later, I plan to go outside and study. There I will need correct English, better English, fluent English. Therefore, I have 2 years to prepare. That timeline, that goal, that awareness of where you make mistakes is the third point. Unless you are aware of this, unless you make a plan, unless you have a timetable, you are not going to improve. Remember that life is limited by time. We do everything by time. There's a beautiful poem by, uh, a great poet, a British poet, which says that, if there was no time, then we could have done this for 500 years. We could have done that for 1,000 years. But that's not possible. Our time is limited. It is a small boundary. So every action is time bound. Your learning also is time bound. The fourth point, which is a very important point, is that you can find people who can support you. Many of you say that you don't have anybody around you to help you speak English. That's fine, no problem. I have already given you a video how to learn alone. Now, the next step I have also mentioned in a video and I'm repeating it today. Try to cultivate a group next to you who don't know any English like you. They also don't know, you also don't know. No problem. Learning together, the teamwork itself is very energizing. You have a team, you work with that team, all of you sit and listen to these videos. I'm giving you hundreds of videos. Spend 20 minutes, 5 of you sit down and listen to the video. Listen to one video every day. Then 5 of you speak or repeat or imitate whatever you have heard in that video. In this way, your support group grows up. You don't need to find a ready-made support group. You can't import, people who know good English into your circle. That's not necessary. Find your own friends. Find people who are able to support you, who are interested, because you will form a team. Yesterday, I was speaking in a college where 1 or 2 girls spoke excellent English. So I told them that make friends with those people who cannot speak a single sentence of English. By helping them, your English will become better, and because you are helping them, their English will become better. Now, you see, We can learn from people who do not know anything. We can learn from people who know excellent English. So it is not only that we learn from people who are better than us, we also learn from people who are not as good as we are. So, this community, this group, this support system, you can build in your college if you're a student, in your office if you have colleagues who are interested, in your neighborhood if you live in a colony, or among your friends, wherever you are. Human beings love society. We cannot live without being social. So we make friends. And when you make friends, you say, let us meet every evening for half an hour and let us do this exercise. Listen 20 minutes, practice 10 minutes, 2 minutes per person. Excellent. Do it for a month and then comment. I'm sure you will be able to write 20 sentences and comment saying the kind of improvement you have seen in yourself. And that improvement will motivate you to move higher and higher and higher towards more perfection. You will get excellent perfection. You will get, great progress when you do this. So, when you start, you make mistakes. But as you grow on, since you have a support group, suppose you make a mistake, somebody says, Arey, I think there is a mistake. Then somebody else makes a mistake, you say, I think that is not the way we should say it. In this way, in a team, you explore the mistakes. You note down the mistakes right from step one, keep noting them down. And when you keep noting, do not memorize them. I'm not saying you have to learn them by heart. I'm saying that you have to practice them. Keep practicing that this is wrong, this is right, this is wrong, this is right. I've given you many videos on correct English. So you look at the mistakes, look at the correct form. Remember the mistake and remember the correct form. Once you do that, you will find that your support group and you yourself are improving from a general context. There are many stories on the channel. Listen to those stories. Try to repeat the story on your own. Each one of you can repeat the story slightly different. You can add your own story to it. Then check your mistakes. Learning from your mistakes, as I told you right in the beginning, is most important. Now we come to the penultimate point. Penultimate means one before the last one. This is number 5. You can learn the rules of grammar if you have a lot of time. Suppose you have a long time to learn, or like some of you keep telling me, you are teachers. Learning for you, learning grammar is very useful. Then you will be able to not only correct your own mistakes, but correct the mistakes of your students also. This is important. Like I told you, I was giving this lecture a couple of days back at another college. Then I said biscuit is pronounced as biscuit. CUIT is also pronounced as E. Biscuit, it's not pronounced as biscuit. Although oo sound is there in writing, but in speaking that oo sound is not there. It is biscuit. So when we say biscuit, obviously, if somebody makes a mistake, then we immediately spot by saying, okay, I know that this word is pronounced as biscuit. I should not say it in any other way. Or if somebody is saying it, you can correct them. That way, learning the rules of pronunciation, vocabulary, grammar, learning more words by using them, learning the grammar rules by using them. When you listen, when you imitate, check the grammar. Noun, verb, preposition, conjunction, check like that. Somebody in the comment box said, show us how to do that. Show us how to find out which is what. In many videos, I have done it. I have shown you that this is a verb, this is a noun, and this is a preposition, this is a conjunction. They are underlined on the slides and you can look through them. Once you do this, you will find that the rules are becoming a part of your mind. You don't make mistakes in these rules. That is a wonderful way of correcting, not by learning the rule by heart, not by memorizing the rule, but by knowing the rule and putting it into practice. That is the sixth point. Whatever mistakes you commit, try to put it in a real life context. Your English is best learnt from real life. Suppose you have to tell someone something, you have to give instructions. Then you can practice, and then while giving instruction, if you make a mistake, then you say, I will give you an instruction. Mistake. Instruction cannot take an because it is an uncountable noun. You say, I will give you some instruction. This way, or, I'll give you some advice. You don't say, I'll give you an advice. If we learn the rule, then we are able to apply it here. Suppose you want to talk about something which happened to you. Again, you make a mistake by saying, today I want to tell you something which happened to myself. Then you are using myself without the rule, which is that you can use it for emphasizing or reflexive. So you go back to that rule. The rule is there in your mind somewhere. You now apply. You say, an incident which happened to me, not myself, because myself alone cannot come. It has to come with me myself, or I myself. That way, whole video is there on this. So when you check your mistakes, when you remember the rules which you've learned, when you apply it to your real life, you're carrying out a conversation, you find the other person is making many mistakes. Remember them in your mind and say, okay, this other person made some mistakes. I must be careful not to make similar mistakes. In this way, we learn. So, if you are conscious, you will learn better. If you see well whenever you're reading, if you listen wholeheartedly when you're listening, you will find that you are able to use English without any mistakes. But you need to work hard. You need to practice. I want you to watch all the videos to practice using each of these videos, because I'm giving you videos of a great variety, different types of videos, so that you don't get bored. You can learn from each of them and become better. Remember, start with mistakes and go on to a language which is free of mistakes. That is what should be your aim. I have given you this video about how you can speak fluent English without mistakes. I hope you will improve and let me know. Let your comments come in hundreds so that I know exactly what you are learning. All the best and thank you.